would help. And not only that, oh, where is it? I found the little part. Where did I just put it? I had the little thing just in my hand. It's not. Oh, drop this. That connects in DJI action cameras to external microphones. Oh, it works now. And you know what? I have to put another rubber band around you, Mr. Camera. I noticed that sort of. It's difficult finding something. There's one other thing online, a suction cap, but honestly, to me, it looks a little bit iffy. The arm outside looks pretty weak. But anyway, getting back to it, so now I have to write the script so that AI understands it and never goes off script, which is not necessarily the easiest thing in the world to do. AI will go off script. So so that's why, and this is why I get these messages now on my face, because I've uploaded a video about some of the AI stuff I'm working on, and I get messages from people that keep telling me, I ordered this through Go, whatever these other businesses are called, and it's just, it's making total mistakes, and it's because the people who are developing it aren't putting in all the, they're just not doing it. I can't look at their code. They're not going to open it up. That's why very few people integrate payment options into AI at the moment, because for every action that takes 5 minutes to write up, let's say something takes 5 minutes, it doesn't. Every action takes an hour, but I will use an hour then. So for every action that takes about an hour to write up, it takes an hour without any safeguards. But the minute you want to make sure that your product actually works the same way every time, it's an extra 3 hours, and then it's testing it like on 3 or 4 different days, test and with different information. And unfortunately, a lot of the people that now sell it like for ridiculously low amounts of money, they never test it. And so today I got emails saying I keep getting appointments for 5 o'clock in the morning. Somebody in Melbourne, and I'm like, yeah, well, you got enticed with a cheap price. It's really, that's it. So you have to accept that. And the funny thing is that the person on the other end wanted to, now what was the time difference? I think it's like 4.5 hours between Delhi and Australia. And so his calendar is setting it at like 5 o'clock, and then the customer appointment. I'm trying to remember the email exactly. And the customer emailed saying, "Oh, cancel this because I didn't want 5 o'clock in the morning. I wanted like 9. I wanted like 9 or 9:30. I can't remember now. Yeah, I'm like, so he said, "What?" I said, "Go," and I just said to him, when it's 9:30 in Australia, find out what time it is, when it's 5 o'clock, which countries. And so he said, "Oh, well, yeah, it might be, there's a bunch of countries there." And I said, "Yeah, well, they're making it and they're not updating probably your time zone. What they're probably doing is the AI is running off their time zone. It's automated to that. What I do, I make sure that mine is, I've hard coded into mine that this is the specific time zone. So I'm in Gold Coast, so it's Brisbane, Australia, because the whole of Queensland is the same time. So I make sure that every transaction relates back to Brisbane, Australia time. And if the customer even asks, "What is your time zone?" it says Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. And unfortunately, if you're making this stuff with people who don't do this kind of thing, I'm sure there are people that do, like, but if you're asking someone to do this for, like, what is it, an appointment agent for $48 a week, you're gonna get a $48 a week agent, which is not going to be very good. Like, it's just not, it just can't. I'm not. If somebody wants it for $48 a week, I tell them, okay, if you want to get an AI agent for $48 a week, you're going to have to learn how to code yourself. So learn how to do that, and then you can't do it for $48 a week, even if you could code it yourself. The software alone costs more than that. So, and then, so if that's the case, if you're fixated on price low, expect that things will be off. The other thing that someone was telling me is that it only gives the first name of the person. So when it asks for the full name, it only gives the first name. Well, because they haven't coded into the AI to check, to verify that they've received two names. So how do you do that? You have to write, basically a script to remind the AI robot to quickly, silently check. So if you've got Robert Smith, they're two separate names. And then go into a name database, go into 2 or 3 different databases and verify which one is the last name, which one is the first name. Now, you might be thinking as a human, you're like, that's dumb. We all know Robert is the first name. We all know, yeah. We know that Roberts is the last name. AI doesn't. And I get, and it's sort of, I'm going to say this every single time. When people think AI is intelligent, I keep saying it's only as intelligent as the person who's coded it up, because you can think of AI as somebody with a very, very low IQ, maybe a 70 IQ, Now, if you leave it on its own to do something, it's going to make horrendous mistakes. But you have to accept that, because you left that up to somebody with maybe learning difficulties, right? I'm not clowning, I'm not making fun of people with learning difficulties, but I'm saying that imagine you've got somebody with a 70 IQ and you tell them, please fill out this application form make sure the spelling is correct and the dates are all correct, and then also modify the date to suit a computer. It's difficult. It's difficult for somebody with an average IQ to make that if they're not highly experienced in. So imagine just telling an AI chatbot, do this, do that, without all the safety protocols in place. It will pump out some that are right, and it will pump out some that are completely wrong. And I was doing that this morning because with taxation in Australia, I had to wrangle it to get it to actually stay on the tax for the tax settings in Stripe, because it kept thinking for itself, and so the AI agent kept thinking, and it was doing strange things like it was dividing 1 divided by 0.1 to get the tax, and you're like, well, no, we're just going to multiply. We're going to use the settings in Stripe, so the Stripe's in. So if tax code ever changes, Stripe does that automatically, but the AI has to only consider reading the Stripe tax codes. It cannot start thinking for itself. Now it started to work beautifully, and I'm like, great. But the one line of code to get it to calculate tax, that created problems, but now it's like about 8 lines. And it has to verify the Stripe details as well. But now when I plug in a number, it gives me the Australian tax rate. And now I can transfer that to Canada or the US or Mexico or what's another country? Chile. There we go. So now I consider it pretty good now. But it is very exhausting, and I don't think people just know that AI is a bit nuts sometimes. So you gotta make it. You got to give it specific instructions and it will not go off them for anything. No matter what you throw at it, it won't. And that is the time. That is the machine that takes time. That's the thing that sucks all your time. Thank you. The writing, just the code itself, just the one to give it an instruction is easy. But then to make sure it doesn't think for itself, that's the hard part. But I think now as I keep reading it, I keep understanding it. So it's working now, but now I have to reverse engineer it. Because I got the output correct, now I have to reverse engineer to make sure that no matter what I throw at it, it's always going to pump out exactly the same as this one. And it will, but you're still going to be paranoid. This is why what I think is going to be best is that people will actually manually send the invoice. It'll be prepared. It'll be a beautiful invoice with all the right information, but then they can manually send it or edit them themselves, because they may notice something's wrong with it. Then they can call the customer, because all the details will be there, and they'll just say, you know what, we just did the invoice, but we realized the part number, this part is actually $12, not $14, or this part is $20, not $12. Do you mind if I change it? No problem. Great, thank you very much. But still, most of the work is already done, creating the customer profile and their account. The other manual one is if they want to immediately pay with their credit card, they have to call. I don't want to put that in the AI. That to me, I feel is I want confirmation, but also there's another feature you can use where they have to take a photo of one driver's license, or no, I think 2 forms of ID and then their credit card. That's a good way to do it. I'm Australian, we'd stop for that just to make sure, everything's all right. That's just how we are, we're programmed like that. Whoa. Everybody's parked under. Okay. There's one up here, I think. Yeah, there we go. Anytime. So yeah, it's working pretty darn well. So I'm so paranoid. I keep putting in, and I even got it checked by an actual person who actually works for Google that I know in the AI. He's in Google AI. He said, you put in so many safety guards. It's like we don't even, you don't want anything to be wrong. I go, yeah, because I'm paranoid. One thing goes wrong, it can ruin you, I should be able to see that, and I can't. I can't see that pole, and it's right there on my... Okay. All right, good people. Let's hit the gym. Oh, yeah. Oh.